Born on July 4th, 1979 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Mark Twitchell was a Canadian filmmaker. He was a longtime Star Wars fanatic. He lived with his wife and baby on a remote home in Edmonton. He lived the ordinary American life. Everything was going smooth and swell for him. He had graduated from the Radio and Television Arts program at the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology in the year 2000. Mike had developed an early interest in film and costume making. However, he was never a stable character and lied constantly and unnecessarily. His first film was labeled Star Wars, Secrets of the Rebellion. When his colleagues read his script, they were amazed and told Mark, you have a real knack for this movie-making career, Mark. So this motivated Mark tremendously. Over time, the Star Wars movie was never released, but this had earned Mark some local attention and recognition. Still, not big success, but still some success. Mark was shattered and broken of his film not getting better notoriety. Mark was overwhelmed and decided that he would make another script titled House of Cards. And this is where Mark's life is about to take a turn. In 2006, a TV series called Dexter became a household show, a must-watch for die-hard suspense and murder enthusiasts. Mark was inspired by this character, Dexter Morgan, of the Dexter television series. This character plays a forensic bloodstain pattern analyst for the fictional Miami Metro Police Department, who moonlights as a serial killer by night. Mark became deeply submerged into the Dexter series, that he started to write his new script similar to the Dexter series, with Mark's head under a rock for years, trying to make it as a movie producer, and with trial and error and not coming to a breakthrough, finding success as a producer, Twitcher was becoming more and more desperate, and he was left with no money to support his family. He had borrowed a loan from a good friend for $100,000 and even rented out a garage in a remote area in Canada where he would work on his script and creating the new movie, House of Cards. His wife tells him he's wasting his time and to just get a real job, just like everybody else. Mark can't take it, and in desperate measures, he goes haywire and comes to the conclusion that he should act as the Dexter character instead and see for himself in POV really what it would be like to lure people in and act as a kidnapper. Mark feels that if his next film is going to get any recognition, he has to go beyond anything any other movie producer and film company had ever seen. He wanted to make it as real as possible. And so Mark embarks himself deep into this role, and to do so, his first step is to go incognito mode. And so on October 10th, 2008, Mark decides to make a fake profile on a dating app called Plenty of Fish, and adds fake profile photos of a blonde woman. Almost hard to believe she's real. Mark knows that by using photos of a woman that is eye-catching to the average Joe, this will guarantee him a lured victim into his scheme of evil intentions he has. His first target is a computer company contractor by the name of Giles Tetroff. He sends Giles a message on the app. Giles opens up the app and he sees it's a message by a woman named Sheena. Giles always had a long life of being single and was always busy with his work. He thought that by going on this app, he would find his soulmate. He replies back to the woman named Sheena, aka Mark Twitchell. And Sheena replies back with an address telling Giles that she wants to meet up at the location she has given him. Giles is ecstatic and can't wait to meet up with this supposed woman he can't stop thinking about. So Giles gets ready. He heads home, showers, dresses up, and is ready for his date for the night. He drives out to the location Sheena gives him. As Giles is driving out into the country, he realizes it's in the middle of nowhere. And he begins to overthink his decision, and at one point, he almost decides to head back home. But he tells himself, well, I already drove this far out, might as well go to a location. With an eerie feeling on his back, Giles still decides to proceed on this adventure. Sexual adventure. A few minutes go by and Giles finally makes it to a location he was given to Sheena. As he's arriving to the location, he notices that this isn't a home, but rather a garage in the middle of nowhere, and he sees that the front of the garage door is open with the light on, but he sees no one. Still with confusion and not sure if this is even real, he parks his car. He gets off and starts walking towards the garage in hopes of meeting this supposed woman named Sheena. He notices inside the garage everything is covered in plastic. The counters and the floor is all covered. He takes a few minutes to look around, but still, no one is around. He sends Sheena a message on the app and waits a few more minutes to see if she responds, but nothing. And from out of nowhere, a masked man wearing a hockey mask, custom made in gold and black and dressed all in black, grabs him and tases Giles. Giles is alarmed and in shock. He's totally confused at what is happening or why he is being attacked by this man wearing a mask. The masked man pulls out what appears to be a gun and points it at Giles. At this moment, Giles is pleading for his life. He doesn't know what's going on, and as he expected to meet up with Sheena and not this masked weirdo. As Giles is pleading and telling the masked man to not shoot, he notices the gun isn't real, but rather a prop play gun. Then calms down for a moment, and evidently he sees a couple walking down the street. He yells out to them and asks them for help, that a lunatic is trying to kill him. The couple is caught by surprise, and as Giles is pleading for help, the masked man laughs and tells the couple to not worry, that him and his friend are just pretending. He tells Giles, stop being silly and get back inside. At this moment, the couple isn't sure if they are just being catfished themselves, and simply tell Giles, sorry, you don't have time for these childish games. And so the couple just walked off and don't look back to see if Giles is okay or if this prank was even real. Giles, in desperation, gets back up off the ground as quickly as possible and makes a run as fast as he can back to his car. Starts it, throws it, and drives off. Giles had managed to get away. Or was this only a test for Mark? Nevertheless, Giles goes on about his life and forgets what just happened. He's frightened and refuses to go to the police, just from the sheer fact that he feels afraid for his life and embarrassed about being pranked by a prop gun, let alone a psychopath. Some days go by and Mark is still trying to put this movie and script together. He is relishing each and every moment in anguish for his script to be known to the world. While trying to make his script for the House of Cards film, he decides that the next victim won't get away this season, and he wants to attempt again to lure another person into his wicked way and falling into his trap. His next victim is 38-year-old John Alton, who worked at an oil field equipment manufacturer. John had also longed for a relationship, and in hopes of finding that special person, he ends up getting messages from Mark, aka Sheena. Tells him to go to the address he gives him, and John drives out at night in hopes of seeing this Sheena woman. When John arrives, it's the same garage address Mark had given Giles. John gets off out of his car and waits around. He sees no one, but is still anxious to meet this woman. He proceeds to wait. He notices the garage door is open, so he goes inside, waits, looks around, and he notices everything is covered in plastic. He finds it a little strange, but he's thinking, oh, maybe they're doing some type of remodeling. From out of nowhere, a man appears, the same, all in black, wearing the hockey mask. As the previous incident, John doesn't know what to think. He's confused. The man doesn't say a word, but he pulls out the taser and strikes John and hits him on the head with a steel bar. John gets up fighting for his life and still confused by this whole ordeal that he now knows he's been catfished by the Sheena person. Realizing it's this man all in black wearing a mask, scamming people off of the internet. John holds his own and tries fighting back, but Mark is just so much stronger than John that it gives Mark time enough to pull out a hunting knife out of his pocket and he strikes John's stomach. At this point, John is weak and in pain and is yelling for help. Mark proceeds with killing John and slices his throat, where at that point, John is left dead on the floor in a pool of blood. Mark then cuts him into little pieces, wraps John's dead remaining pieces, and throws them at the nearest dumpster. He then traces where John lives from his phone, goes to his apartment, breaks in, and then sends emails to all of John's family and friends, telling them that he met a woman on a dating app called Plenty of Fish, and that they both went to Costa Rica on a long-deserved trip. Mark also takes John's car keys and drives out in John's red Mazda that he had just purchased, since it was fairly new. He then goes home and acts like nothing ever happened. A few days go by and John's family and friends are concerned, since they haven't heard from him since the email he sent out that he was going on this long-deserved trip to Costa Rica. They start having a strange feeling that something probably isn't right. Indeed, he was wrong, as John gasped for his life before getting murdered just a few days prior. John's friends one day break into John's apartment and notice everything in its place, including all of his clothes and personal belongings he might have taken if he was really going out on this trip. They then go to police knowing something may be fishy. Police go to John's apartment and recover the emails and all the evidence they can get. They then take it back to the lab for further investigation. On one of these days, Giles, the previous victim of Mark's estranged game, goes to authorities and explains to them that he was harassed and a victim of a man living out of his garage, luring victims on a dating app, telling them he's a woman by the name of Sheena. Authorities are shocked, but still no clear evidence on who this person making these fake profiles online is. They then use Giles' dating app and trace back to the phone number to the address given to show up at Mark's place. They ask him if they can come inside and have a few words with him. Mark says, sure, come on in. They ask him if he knows anything about John. He tells them no, that he had sold him his Mazda, that he knows nothing about what might have happened to John. They do a search around the garage and police find nothing. They then go check Mark's family car. They find nothing, so they then check behind the trunk and spot blood, and a knife caked in blood. They immediately know this is bad news. They keep searching and they find Mark's laptop. They turn it on and search into Mark's personal files and find a document labeled SK Confessions, meaning Serial Killer Confessions. They realize what they are seeing is a script that goes on and on, explaining in detail how he murdered and dismembered John. Authorities are in hard disbelief. They take Mark into custody, and there Mark explains to them that he's a movie producer and that yes, in fact, SK Confessions was a script for his other script that he had for his movie House of Cards. chilling confessions of a serial killer in the making was what authorities said Mark's case was. In 2011, Mark was sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. It has since been said that he has pleaded for a court date to plead for a bond loan, but no further notice has been mentioned as of date. That's the end of this story, folks. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and turn on notifications for more stories. I hope you enjoy.